So Conor McGregor was in the White House the other day. I have been inundated with messages to talk about this. Now, I get asked for my opinion on these kind of serious topics all the time. I don't know why the fuck people care, because I just shouted cups of tea on the internet. Now, the reason that I prefer not to make videos about this sort of shit is because I don't think it's fucking useful. The entire story of the world is being told in poorly researched headlines and 40-second fucking TikTok clips, and it is making people fucking nuts. For me to talk about this in a way that's even approaching being useful, I need to spend 25 minutes talking about Conor McGregor the person. I need to spend 40 minutes talking about immigration in Ireland. I need to spend 40 minutes talking about the fucking economy in Ireland. I need to spend an hour and a half talking about our fucking government. Now, my opinion on Conor McGregor is irrelevant, but I don't think he's a good person. I don't think it's particularly hard to find evidence of that. But it doesn't surprise me in the least to see a lot of people agreeing with what he was saying. There absolutely is an immigration issue in Ireland. That doesn't mean that people feel like we shouldn't take the refugees that we're able to take. It doesn't mean that people feel like people shouldn't be able to come here for better opportunities. But the systems that we have in place are being taken advantage of. And that is plain to see. And the government continually does not allow people to express their concerns about that. Along with this, Ireland continues to become one of the richest countries in the world, while most people's quality of life is going down. Our towns, and especially our cities, are becoming much less safe. Now, that's not just because of immigration. There's a lot of factors to that. But if you can't see that that's happening, then you have not left your house. Communities all over Ireland are concerned, and their concerns are continuously not being heard. And when you continuously suppress what people are feeling, you turn them towards more extreme beliefs, you increase their distrust in the government, and you push people towards racism and extremism. Now, no doubt, a lot of people in the comments are going to completely misconstrue what I've said here, but that's the internet for you. Anyway, stay delicious.
So that's the video that got Garron Noone, the Irish comedian with millions of followers on TikTok and Instagram, cancelled. What did you think of that video? Let me know in the comments down below. As I said previously, it's a milquetoast opinion. It is something that is very reasonable, I thought, and it is something that I think an awful lot of other people are going to view as being very reasonable and very well thought out, I would say. So this all stems from Conor McGregor attending the White House on St. Patrick's Day 2025 and telling the truth to millions of people around the world. We were told at the time that he had the right message but was the wrong person, and has been vilified in the media by politicians and the media themselves since then. That's something that's not new for Conor McGregor, because anytime the media and politicians have an opportunity to attack him and slander him and his character, they take it. And that's not only over the last couple of months, it's over the last number of years. This is an ongoing battle, so for anyone that thinks that this is just a recent thing with Conor McGregor and them, it's not. It's going on a long time. They have worked very hard to cultivate this opinion of Conor McGregor. Meanwhile, you've got people, very nasty and evil individuals, running around in politics and indeed other places in this country, and nothing's being said. Won't talk about them at all. Why is that? Same circles, I would say. You know what I mean? So, media doesn't want to know about that, but we'll tell you about a ball boy that used to be in the UFC. Do you get me? So what has happened since then is, well, Garron Noone, as the complete opposite there, is supposed to be regarded as the right messenger with the right message. But instead, he was hounded off social media on TikTok and on Instagram with millions of followers by the woke left mob, because he gave an opinion that the large majority of this country absolutely share. That's exactly what he did. So I'm going to show you over the course of this video how the machine works and how it uses its foot soldiers, its hive mind, to create the emotion that it does, which is just fever pitch of hatred from the left hand side towards someone giving an opinion that is factual and that is based in reality. These people aren't based in reality, you see, on the left hand side. So what we have here is Sean, for example. This is the first person I wanted to pull up here. And I'm just going to show you here. This is his bio here. And this is his little blurb, we shall say, on social media. Sean, Palestinian flag. If you feel that way, you should be heading over there to the front line, joining them, helping them out, okay? Because notice where the Palestinian flag comes before the Irish flag. That's who you want to side with and go over to, head on there. But I'll also show you there, as you can see there, the blue and pink and white flag. That's the transgender flag. So again, that comes before the Irish flag. Then you've got the rainbow flag that comes after that. Now, I know that you're thinking the same thing that I am, which is, if this guy flew the Palestinian flag, the rainbow flag, and the transgender flag in Palestine, I don't think it would go well for him. You know what I mean? And as you can see there, woke. So these people are trying to use that term as a badge of honour. Instead, we look at that and we say to ourselves, these people have something wrong with them. So as you can see here, people weren't mad because Garron Noone made comments about immigration. Absolutely they were, so that's a lie straight out the gate. People were mad because he just rehashed the same dangerous... Now, what do you mean by dangerous far-right rhetoric? Are you talking about people telling the truth about what happened to Aisling Murphy, that the media tried to cover up what happened to her for a very long time? Are you talking about that? Are you talking about what happened to Michael Snee and Aidan Moffat? Are you talking about those? No? Okay, so what do you mean by dangerous far-right rhetoric? What do you mean by that? And dog whistles. That's another nonsensical term imported from the Americans, especially the leftist Americans. Dog whistles. It's a stupid thing. What they're trying to say there is because one person reshares a video on this side of the fence that you're calling everybody else to reshare it and make it into this big thing. Everything that these people accuse you of, they are guilty of. Because these people have their groups and they communicate and they get to boost things with an unnatural method, to boost things in algorithms by helping each other. Remember that. Someone who's famous for rating deli foods shouldn't be using his platform to support Conor McGregor's opinion. You see, that's another lie that he's telling, by the way. What he actually means there is Garren Noone has millions of followers and he shouldn't be boosting the immigration question that's going on here around this country. That's what he actually means by that. Because people have finally noticed what's going on here in this country. It has spurred on the crisis that you're seeing in housing. It has spurred on the crisis that you're seeing in health. People can't get a place in a GP or a dentist, or indeed they're on waiting lists for a very long time to be seen to by a doctor. People can't get school places. These are all things that are intrinsically linked to immigration. And if you don't think that that's the case, you're a person that's not living in the real world. As Roy Keane would say, you're living in cuckoo land. So you've got this here. Rachel Moselle says, predictably, the targeted hit campaign against Garron Noone from the Irish media class has begun with full force. You see, this is what happens as well, by the way. I'm sure an awful lot of people lost his phone number over the last couple of days. This is something that has been talked about by people who have come out and have supported what has gone on here in the country and have supported nationalism. These people have lost careers, they have lost jobs, they've lost friends, the whole lot. These people have put out and risked themselves for the good of the country. The framing of this is absolutely vile. Garron has never publicly expressed any support whatsoever for the Tate brothers. What he has been publicly about is his, and she goes on then to speak about it, but I'll just stop that conversation there and I'll say this. Isn't it quite interesting that people that speak up and who are speaking up for nationalism and the protection of their own country are all accused, very shady in my opinion, again that's a genuinely held opinion, very shady in my view, that Donald Trump, Andrew Tate, Tristan Tate, Russell Brand and Conor McGregor have all been accused of the same thing. Quite strange that, isn't it? Allegedly, respectfully. So outside of Ireland, Noone has, and this is coming from the Journal, by the way, this is an absolute rag of a place there, the Journal. This is an outlet, by the way, that only last week or the week before was talking about Enoch Burke and how what he was doing was wrong and all this sort of stuff. They've spent an awful lot of time on that. Enoch Burke, by the way, the Journal isn't talking about how nasty and horrendous it is that Enoch Burke's bank account has been seized with over €40,000 of savings gone. Now that all stems from him, and this is what the Journal don't want to say, it all stems from him not agreeing with the woke leftist ideology of calling someone with a pronoun of they them, which is nonsense of course, as you know. But that's what that all stems from. You want to skirt around that and say, oh well, court orders and all like that. Court orders mean nothing to these people because these people were more than willing to avoid human rights, civil liberties and freedoms over the last number of years when it came to the sniffles that came from China. So don't get onto a pedestal and talk to me about what's right and what's wrong in courts and like that. Courts get things wrong as well, judges get things wrong. If you don't believe me, have a look at some of the verdicts that Judge Martin Owens handed out over the years and you can think about it from there. That's what I'd say. So outside of Ireland, Noone has found support from misogynist influencer Tristan Tate. Miss Andrews fine. Miss Andrews absolutely fine though. And anti-nationalism, that's completely fine. That's also fine. But how horrific it would be for someone, and again, this is what it comes down to, and I just want to explain to you, this is why the regime are upset. Because they've got people with millions of followers now interested in what's going on. and now this is blown up worldwide, and it looks even worse now for the Irish government and media. Romanian prosecutors allege that Tate, by the way, that's the same Romania that just cancelled an election because it seemed like a guy that was on the right wing was going to win the election in Romania, and they just annulled the election. So I'm delighted that they've mentioned Romania, because that doesn't look suspect at all, guys. Sure it doesn't. Really weird. Prosecutors allege, again, allege is a very important word there, because an awful lot of these allegations are, in my opinion, again, this is a genuinely held opinion, in my opinion, allegations are made like these to totally take away the character of a person, and particularly men in these spaces. Alleged that Tate and his brother Andrew, along with 2 women, set up a criminal organisation in Romania. Ironic again, given the fact that the Romanian government just cancelled an election there. Talking about criminal organisations. And Britain, another one as well too, where Keir Starmer, another very weird individual, and indeed another weird house that didn't want to look into certain gangs that were grooming, you know what I mean? Very weird, that one. In early 2021, and exploited several victims. The 2 brothers moved to the US recently, and their alleged victims fear they may avoid prosecution as a result. So as far as I know through that story as well, no actual victim has come out and faced the public at all. It's all seemingly, again, speculatively, allegedly, it's all people that have had monikers placed on them, and they are making statements with regards to that. So I think that's quite interesting. Garren Noone did nothing wrong, Tate told his 3.4 million followers on X. Garron Noone has been approached for comment through his management, and you see, that is what to me are sinister moves by the media. Garron Noone did nothing wrong, factual statement, okay, but the fact that Tate has 3.4 million followers is bad news for the media and for people worldwide, because they're like, people are going to start looking at this. Then it's, we've contacted him for comment with regards to that. Like, you know what he's going to say. I know what he's going to say. I know he's going to say, I don't agree with the Tates. Or if he even did say, I agree with the Tates, fair play to him. Do you know what I mean? Who cares? But this is the tactics that these people are using. This is the machine at work. Just going to post this here as well. Mandy Gall put this out. Sinn Féin wanted to extend hate speech bill to give undocumented migrants special protection. So, just so as we're all aware, it's the entirety of the Dáil, by the way, that are playing this game. It's not just one party, 2 parties, 3 parties. It's all of them. Here's another one. Sam, with a picture of Michael D. Higgins. If I got into that now, I'm telling you, that'd be another 60-minute video about that horrible thing. Anyway, people acting like Garron Noone is some poor lamb who needs to be protected are hilarious to me. He's an online influencer who knows the lay of the land of online culture. He didn't have to share his opinion. He did full well knowing the risks. He got what he asked for. Like, this is what you're seeing here. You're seeing people actually, and this is the scary thing, by the way, as well. You've got 783 goofballs, 786 now, that have liked that post that think that that's okay. Again, the idea of people being made to censor themselves and self-censor and to censor logical opinions is what is being driven forward by politicians and the media and these foot soldiers, this hive mind of stupidity. These people, again, this platform prevents you from saying the absolute truth, but I tell you the truth if I saw it. These people are horrific. Here we've got another one here. You got from Flick66. One hotel earns €70 million a year for housing scammers trafficked into Ireland by a rogue regime that loves to rub our noses in it. But don't look over there, look over here. See this guy, Garren Noone, he's the problem. You cannot hate these people enough. City West earns 1.3 million a week from accommodating refugees. Then you see this other one here. How Garren Noone's immigration views created a storm on social media. They're not saying anything about Micheál Martin or Simon Harris or any of the others in the Dáil that are up to no good, or any of the players that are in the game there of accepting money to house these people and to overrun your towns, your community with these individuals like this. So as you can see here, Peter Paul Guy says, Ireland 21st of March 2025, second generation Nigerian migrant Trayvon Ola Tunde, there's some furniture out there levitating around me there, I think there, lads, threatened to shoot a female Garda police in her face. Olatunde also told Garda Flood that he would find her in the Garda station and do that to her. He has an address in Newcastle, Dublin. Michael O'Keefe has this here. This year's St. Patrick's Day parades were some of the least Irish I've ever seen. The government is wondering why tourism revenue is down 28%. Simple, tourists don't come to Ireland to see Africans in military uniform marching through the streets. No Congo, no phone. Like, none of these people have any interest in going back and looking after their countries. Instead, what they do is they come over here, they cause bother, and tell you then you're a racist. And this is exactly what has happened to Garron Noone. Garron Noone has pointed out what is a clear problem that we have in this country, and has been labelled a racist, and has been labelled far right. All of the things that have been levelled at people on this side for a very long time. And it's like that meme. Have you ever seen that meme there where there's two people standing in the blue, and there's a lion, and there's people in red, and the person in the blue pushes another of their compatriots over the line, and they fall onto the ground, and the person in the red picks the person up, and then the person in the blue is going, why are you on that side? Because you pushed them there. And this, as I said beforehand, is something that is hugely negative for the left, because they have made, I would say, the large majority of this country completely turn on them, because they decided to vilify, harass, and do the things that we have seen happen to this man over the last couple of days. This is just the beginning of it, lads, because they've made a huge error. Garren Noone is now trending on Twitter, which means there are more eyeballs on this situation than there was beforehand, and it means then that this story is just going to keep going. And like I said at the beginning of the video, right messenger for this current situation, and right message, because now people are fully aware to what's going on. I don't care insofar as to what Conor McGregor does. If he is telling me, and indeed this country, that he's going to look after its people, and he's going to deport illegal immigrants and look into people that are up to no good here in this country, that can only be viewed as a good thing. The fact that you have got the politicians of this country afraid of him speaks volumes for me. And what I would say is, the government is there to fear the people, not for the government to make people fear them. That's tyranny. Just want to make that very clear. And what you are seeing here is another shade of tyranny, which is the media, along with its foot soldiers, coming out to lambaste and abuse a man that gives, as I said, a very reasonable and milquetoast opinion on immigration. And not only that, but what he said was ultimately the truth. And the truth, as I always say, will prevail. What did you think of that? Make sure you like, make sure you share, and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want to keep up to date with what's going on here in this country. I am going to keep reporting what is happening in my beautiful country of Ireland, like I have done beforehand. And make sure you let me know what you think about this whole situation in the comments down below. And I'll talk to you later. Look.